7 days, this number has been around since 1968.
The 7-day minimum annual leave is one of the lowest in the world.
It's often been said like Singapore's most precious resource is its people. So,
As wages go down, the number of annual leaves they are entitled to go down as well.
What the government is advocating is for the adoption of flexible work arrangements.
But what about all the other people who work shifts?
Having flexible work arrangement, I think it's part of the company's culture that cannot be mandated.
If it is encouraged to give more leaves, then why not just mandate it? Why not just mandate 14 then?
Singaporeans are overworked AF.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew. I'm a writer here at Mothership and I have 32.5 days of annual leave left this year.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a writer here at Mothership as well, and I only have 12 days of annual leave left.
Hello, I'm Shahinda. I am a writer and producer. I have 32 days of annual leave left.
I'm Xing Qi. I'm a wannabe content creator. I have 30 days. So obviously Hannah has the
biggest
better
slacker.
life because we never
To be
take
fair,
leave.
it's because I applied for leave like 2nd January for a holiday that I already planned.
Okay, welcome to the final episode of Bottlespin Debates. This is the final episode of season 1. Can we get at least clap? Yee! Clap lah, Xing Qi. Okay, so in this podcast, we pretend to be expert debaters. So every week, there's a socio-political topic that we talk about. We do it in the form of a gamified debate, essentially. So we'll spin the bottle and we'll see which camp we fall into. And then we'll debate for the winner.
Not bad, I'm going to do a scream now. Not bad.
Okay, anyways, you guys get to decide who wins the debate. So let us know in our YouTube community post. And also if you have any suggestions of topics that we should cover next season, you can let us know that too in the comments.
Can I have the last episode drum roll, please? The minimum 7-day annual leave in Singapore is enough.
Oh, you all survive. You all have 30 over days left.
We never take leave, so we can't do it.
Basically, we know life.
Technically, we can. I'm not sure about you, Hannah, but I think we can do it.
Just a gentle reminder that the views expressed in this podcast does not represent the views of Mothership or other associated parties. Just a fun debate to keep Mothership going.
Yeah, I don't know. It was going to be like real tough for us to debate the for side of it. To be clear, the only reason why we have 30 days is because like it
It's
rolls
rolled over.
from like
Yeah.
previous years or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But it also just shows that we don't have a life.
There was one year I didn't take any leave at all.
Why?
Just didn't feel the need to take a break. 'cause I
Work
love
will
my
set
job.
him free, so that's...
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't working anyway. I wasn't working.
See?
Nah, just kidding. Before we get into it, does anyone want to volunteer to be in the 4 team?
No.
Why you volunteer
You look like
me?
a slave driver, though.
Okay, I think it's time to spin the bottle.
Yes,
And,
it's time to spin the bottle.
Shah, can
So
you
Who's gonna do it?
no.
The
The one
most.
with the most should spin the bottle. So
And that's Drew.
Andrew
Yeah, that's
Quation
me.
Way.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. I hope I don't get 4 because I've been on the unpopular side every
I
single
bet you're
episode.
going to get 4, though.
It'll be
I
so
hope you
funny
get
though.
4. Maybe it's meant to be.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
damn.
4.
It's Drew.
That's Denise.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
That's Drew.
Let's be fair about this.
That's
Drew.
you.
Drew has been in the 4 team every week.
Yeah.
Wait, okay,
Actually, I'd
so
like to be on the 4 team.
Oh, you want to
Then
be
you
a 4
wanna
team?
be.
Then
No,
you
no,
can
no.
volunteer.
7 days is enough because it is the bare minimum. Employers can and should give more, but for like the baseline, 7 days is there to protect the rights of employees. And also we are looking towards a more flexible work arrangement. So 7 days is enough.
Producer, I think for amplification purposes, you can cut that out. 7 days is enough. Hannah said it. We'll go on TikTok. We'll go big on that. That's our opening statement. What? Very good.
I think that should be the
Are you
opening,
hearing
that should be
yourself?
the
Yeah.
opening statement.
Are you hearing yourself? 7
Sounds like
days
they're done
enough?
at the opening
I
statement.
apologize for my teammate. Okay, so for our team, our opening statement, the 7-day minimum annual leave is one of the lowest in the world. Studies have proven that more annual leaves or more paid time off days shows that you will have a better productivity at work and also you have a better general mental and physical well-being. Yeah, and having more off days is just beneficial for every stakeholder. Employer, employees, families, businesses, everything.
Just to recap, me and Hannah are arguing for the 7-day minimum being enough, and Xing Qi and Shah are losers who are arguing against it. I don't really know what they have to say about that. Okay, our first point is that 7 days is enough because long holidays are bad.
Again,
That's my
Okay.
first point.
Producer Denise.
Long holidays are long holidays are bad for you. Studies have shown that the optimal length for a holiday, if you want to maximize your days off, is 8 days. 8 days is when your happiness peaks when you're on holiday. And 7 days is more than enough for an 8-day holiday. Let me tell you why. Because you can start your holiday on Sunday, then you take your 5 days of leave, Monday to Friday. Then you got Saturday, Sunday. So that's 8 days. And then maybe you can take Monday off as well. So that's 6 days. And you still have 1 day of leave left to use in whatever way you wish throughout the rest of the year.
In one year.
That's one trip where you achieve optimal happiness. Just to say a few more things to tell you why a long holiday is bad for you. It can take a long time for you to reacclimatize to your job the longer you're away. You want to take your 14-day, 2-week leave or something, you come back to work. That first week of work, you probably won't be doing too much. You probably won't be very productive. I can't speak from personal experience, but I think some people here might be able to. That's bad for your employers, but also bad for your co-workers, because who has to pick up the slack? Man, your poor co-workers who have already been working while you were away on your 2-week holiday.
First and foremost, this coming from the guy who is supposedly taking a sabbatical.
Yeah, after a good period of time working.
Very good.
I mean, long holiday is not the only way to spend your leave days. I mean, it's up to you. If you read the study and you realize that, long holidays are bad for you, then don't go for a long holiday. Just take 1 day every week, 1 day every month.
So you can achieve 4-day working.
Yeah. What's important here is the minimum 7 days is not enough throughout the whole year. And I think it's important for people to have breaks.
Yeah, we do have breaks every Saturday and Sunday. And then 11 days a year, we have a public holiday as well.
But that's for the standard 9-to-5 jobs. But what about all the other people who work shifts, or especially those in the lower income groups, those blue collar workers? It's hard to determine, Saturday and Sundays they're not working. Public holidays they won't be working. That's not necessarily true for everybody.
So in those cases, you tend to get compensated, right? And if you work a shift and your shift goes over the weekend, then maybe your days off on the weekday as well. So those people do get breaks.
Member of Parliament, Louis Ng, brought up a parliamentary question, basically in October 2023. He asked about the paid annual leave in Singapore because according to a survey by the Manpower Research and Statistics, as wages go down, the number of annual leaves they are entitled to go down as well.
So think about it, right? They are earning a lot less, but they're working a lot more. So these 7 days is not enough.
Most often than not, we see that the more privileged one, those who earn higher, will be in companies or will work with employers who will offer more leave entitlements. Those lower wage workers will be entitled to fewer days and might even be entitled to the bare minimum 7 days the whole year. Our main point for the Against team is that the 7-day minimum is actually one of the lowest in the countries. So if you look in the countries, oh my god, one of the lowest in the world. Oh my gosh, Singapore is in the bottom 13. Only 12 countries have fewer minimum annual day leaves compared to Singapore, and that's. Do you want me to list it on?
Yes, please.
Tanzania, Thailand, Brunei, Nigeria, Philippines, China, Mexico, Palau, Nauru, US, and Micronesia. Some countries that have more paid
please.
annual leave days. Let me bring up the example of Finland. They have a minimum 30 days of paid annual leave. And why I bring up Finland is because based on Remote's Global Life Work Balance Index, they are ranked 15, which is above Singapore. There's Germany also, minimum 20 days of paid leave per year. Some other countries that have more leave days than us, that might be surprising to some. Madagascar, 30 days. Panama, 30 days. UAE, 30.
Yeah, just to point out also, our Employment Act came into effect 15 August 1968. This is according to National Library Board. That's my official source. It said 11 days a year for all employees, 14 days of annual leave for employees who have more than 10 years of service, and 7 days of annual leave for those who have less than 10 years of service. So think about it. 7 days, this number has been around since 1968.
Older than you are.
Yes, naturally.
I bring you a rebuttal from the former Minister of Manpower herself, Josephine Teo. Spoken in 2019 in reply to a question by Louis Ng, who seems to ask a lot of questions about annual leave.
And cats.
And cats, yeah. Minimum annual leave of 7 days is comparable to places like Hong Kong and Taiwan. I think we need to, when we think about this and we compare with other countries, we need to think about countries or territories or places that have a similar cultural context to Singapore. So Hong Kong, Hong Kong and Taiwan both have similar annual leave entitlements
Are
to
they both
Singapore.
countries?
No, but they are jurisdictions and
doing this.
territories.
We're not doing this.
That's our debate topic for next season.
Yeah, so stay
Is Hong Kong
tuned.
a country? No, so I think it's fair to compare with Hong Kong and Taiwan, as opposed to places like Madagascar.
What's wrong?
Nah.
Yeah, what's wrong with
I
it?
mean, like if you move it so much, then yes, you need more leave, right? I mean, those animals work hard.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
right.
just Madagascar. Okay, I brought out a
Okay,
bunch
go
of other countries. I highlighted countries like Finland and Germany.
Uh-huh.
I highlighted them.
Very different from Singapore.
Yes, I understand that, but that doesn't
They
mean
don't
that.
even eat rice sometimes.
But that
in
doesn't
Finland.
mean we can't take inspiration from them. We take inspiration from them in our education system. Both Finland and Germany, actually, they are both ranked higher than Singapore in terms of work-life balance. And I think that's something that we should emulate it.
But Germany and Finland are very different countries from Singapore, though. So like you just really got to be careful if you want to draw a like comparison with them and say like we should adopt things.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that there's some things that we can definitely take inspiration from, like I said.
Like both countries are very rich in natural resources, for example. And Singapore's, it's often been said like Singapore's most precious resource is it's
people.
people. So we gotta work the people hard.
Wow, another thing to cut.
No, but like as in the way that we manage our manpower resource has to be different from the way that Finland or Germany manage their manpower resource. And the labor laws applied to, those things have to be different. The policy has to be different as well. Yeah, if you look at Southeast Asia, right, you mentioned Brunei and Thailand. So those are both countries that, I would say are more similar to us than Germany and Finland. And their annual leave comes near our amount. Philippines as well. Right?
Let's talk about regional, right? What about Malaysia?
No, but Malaysia is what, 8 days, right?
8 days.
So not too different from Singapore either. So once again, cultural context.
But they
we're in
have
that
more
region.
total paid vacation days in general.
They're public holidays.
Public holidays, right? How many public holidays do they have in Malaysia?
No, for context, Singapore is 11.
Malaysia has 11
Are we
as well.
supposed to name all the public holidays?
Hey, Malaysia has 11 as well.
But we got one up by them.
That's why we're always a step ahead. Because when they sleep, we work.
Bro, you cannot say this
No?
shit.
I think that's
Right,
is that controversial? I don't know.
season,
Is that
one
what it
season
is?
only.
I think so.
Josephine Teo also mentioned that Singapore's statutory annual leave entitlements should be viewed alongside the paid sick leave, childcare leave, and other forms of leave provided within our laws. And the Ministry of Manpower, together with their tripartite partners, completed a review of the Employment Act in 2018. And if they find that is good enough, who are we to question?
So are you saying you're going to max out your sick leave? Is that part of the consideration? That's why 7 days is enough.
I mean, I don't think I ever plan on getting sick.
I think, producer, I think we have cut. And another highlight.
Wait, what do you mean by max out the sick leave thing?
If you don't get sick for the rest of the year, or for the whole year you don't get sick, so you're still left with that 7 days.
Which means you need to
Other leaves
gain
as well.
MC or something.
No, like parental, care.
You're not parent?
care leave.
Yeah, but parent. For guys, at least there's something called reservice. Technically a leave.
Yeah, then you
can see your
work
butt.
for the MINDEF.
Yeah.
It was
so-
previously stated in Parliament as well by Minister of State for Manpower Gan Xiaohuang that while the government does regularly review its leave provisions, increasing should not be the default solution, but rather what the government is advocating is for the adoption of flexible work arrangements, as it will be able to cater to all forms of individual needs. So if you're a parent, flexible work arrangements can help with your childcare needs, because you can be at home, you can work from home, or you can start doing shifts. They're just advocating greater flexibility. So 7 is enough as the bare minimum, because with the flexibility you can do more.
I'll bring out 2 points. First, why are you all ripping off all the parliamentarians' speeches? And secondly, having flexible work arrangement, I think it's part of the company's culture that cannot be mandated. If, I don't know, someone named Adolf is running the
At least, can you at least...
Going so well.
you know, the culture of the company,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You can't, some people just don't do flexible.
Yeah, and I also like to bring up again more labor-intensive jobs. I think it's near impossible. I think to
Yeah.
have flexible work arrangements. Flexible work
Like,
arrangements.
can I repair the car from home?
bring home the car.
Yeah, bring home the car. Come on.
Honey, we got a new
Yeah,
car.
new car. I'm repairing downstairs. I don't know. How does it work?
Flexible work arrangements also actually kind of more
That's
geared towards the privileged.
Yes, that's right.
Together with more
like Drew
annual
and
leave
Hannah.
days.
That's why the leave is 7 because it's the bare minimum. They encourage employers to do
Are you
more.
saying
yeah.
they encourage the bare minimum only?
Oh, so what's your point? That like flexible work arrangements don't work for everyone?
It don't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. It depends on the culture.
But it does work for some people, right? So I think the point is the 7 is, the law. And then after that, you can choose, is it going to be flexible work arrangements or is it going to be more leave that you get instead? And that depends on the workplace, right? But then maybe if you're a worker that has to, like you mentioned, like mechanics, you can't do flexible work arrangements. So then maybe you just have to get more leave. The point is that by setting it as the minimum for 7 days, it leaves room for that kind of difference between companies.
if there's a boss
Adolf hates.
that says, hey, the law says 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 7. Am I wrong? No.
Oh, I'm going to get cancelled for this. It's better than having nothing.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Wow,
I was
there's
like- I heard- I was like-
Hannah highlights this episode.
Let me quote to you, someone who's
MP?
very important to me, the Minister of Manpower, Tan See Ling, replying to a question from MP Louis Ng in 2021, right? He was asked what's the percentage of workers that actually receive 7 days of annual leave? And that amount is only 17% of full-time employees in Singapore.
But we are
they
leaving
give
up
more
the
than that.
chance.
17%, which industry is that from? Or does it affect the lower wage workers?
But he said full-time workers, so it's probably across all industries.
Yeah, but
As
the
in,
17,
where
the
does
bulk, yeah,
17%
where does
come
Yeah,
from?
the
it's not
17% come from?
I don't think he expanded on that.
Maybe a
That's
question
very
for Louis
selective.
Ng to ask in a future
yeah.
sitting of parliament.
Yeah.
Can be
Yeah,
very
Louis Ng. Idea. Idea.
Imagine if he said like this question was raised on
On a podcast.
on a podcast
By
called-
Mothership.
Bottlespin
Bottlespin
Debates.
But speaking about the 7 days thing, right? A part of it can be left up to like market forces as well, right? If you are going to be an employer who gives the bare minimum, maybe you're not going to be the one who gets that many quality employees. And we saw a case just this past week, or when this was recorded.
Recently.
Recently, we saw a case of this where there was a bus company, right, which is like what you consider like a blue collar job. They were offering like quite an attractive package, and they got lots of applicants.
$5,000 a month driver job gets 1,292 applicants for 10 vacancies.
If you want to be an attractive employer, or you want to be an employer that gets like good quality employees, then you can't just be doing like the bare minimum, right? You have to be competitive with other employers who could be offering a similar kind of job, but like with more attractive benefits.
Well, I guess it's all fine and dandy during an employee's market. When it's an employer's market, I'm going to offer you only 7 days.
Huh?
Maybe just suck it
Only
up.
7? Why?
Because it's the law.
That's so unfair. I want more. I have a friend that has so
Well,
many of this.
This is mandated and I just following the law. Ha ha ha.
And scene.
Okay.
Is that
I
our
think that's
rebuttal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what a creative way to rebut.
Yeah,
Our
next one.
rebuttal is a
We
skit.
do a skit every time. So the next point is Singaporeans are overworked AF. And studies show that taking more leave improves one's well-being. Yeah, we are obviously overworked. Look at Shah and I.
Well, it sounds like you're saying that Mothership's a pretty terrible place to work
Yeah.
at.
Well, I think it depends. Yeah,
You should,
If
you should
you're-
send this to someone.
yeah, if your supervisor is called Adolf.
So, who's your supervisor?
Well, yeah, that's another thing
Hey,
altogether.
this is not what I meant by emotional.
It's an emotional topic because we are really overworked. And according to this study found by Shah, workspace innovation company called the Instant Group, it found that Singapore has the longest working hours per week. at,
45.
followed by China at.
42. So more things from the study. The overworking culture has left 73% of Singaporean employees unhappy and 62% feeling burnt out.
That's obviously
Drew,
acceptable for
are you
Drew.
happy?
Yeah, I love working here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are unhappy.
Yeah, very.
Do you know what the problem is?
Yes.
As in, like, it just shows that having
a lot of
more than
problems.
7 days of leave is not the answer
No.
to your unhappiness.
Coming from the guy who had 32.5 days of leave.
Because I don't think leave has anything to do with whether you're happy at work. Singaporeans, I just want to say, I hear you. I know you guys are unhappy at work. You know, lots of us find work tiring and we are burnt out. But the solution to that is not more time away from work. The solution to that is to fix your workplaces and the workplace environment and the workplace culture. Because otherwise you're just going to go on leave, you're going to go on a holiday, you're going to go to wherever, you're going to be happy, then you're going to come back to work and then be upset and angry again. I don't think the solution to that problem is to increase the number of days of leave that the government mandates a year.
I think it could be one of the solutions.
Yes.
No,
But it's not mutually exclusive, I think. Yeah.
According to another study.
There was a 9-year study conducted by 2 American health psychologists. So they followed more than 12,000 middle-aged men at high risk of heart disease. So in the end, those who took more yearly vacations were less likely to die from any cause, including heart attacks and other cardiovascular problems. They found that regular vacations could help reduce the risk of metabolic syndrome.
What's that?
Cool.
High blood pressure,
Yeah, what he's
high
saying.
blood sugar,
He's reading it out now.
excess belly fat, abnormal cholesterol levels. All of these lead to heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
7 days you can take a yearly vacation, 7 days, right? So every month you could take a long weekend.
If you don't work weekends,
Yeah, well, it's okay. Every month you could take like 1.5 days off, including whatever day off you have for that week.
Okay, this company, people hear before. Ernst & Young
like that.
showed that for every additional 10 hours of vacation time that employees took, their year-end performance improved 8%. Imagine what you can do with 14 days of leave.
Where
How
was
about
Where was the study conducted?
that? ENY,
Yes.
International ENY.
Oh, I see.
No, but if you have like 14 days of leave, but you're not able to completely detach from work and give yourself the space, it won't eventually boost productivity. It also boils down back again to the culture of your workplace.
I just want to point out, you can't mandate culture. Everyone must be fun like Mothership. In terms of
The way you said that.
leave days, this is something that the government can do, and that is the only variable that we can control.
No, it's true though. Yeah.
Sure.
How do you mandate culture? But you can mandate at least this is something practical that can be done
it's
by
a
the
practical
government.
thing.
You know, Netflix had like unlimited leave or whatever, right,
Yeah.
for a while. I guess like the CEO was questioned if like people would abuse the unlimited leave. And then she said something about how like if your employees are abusing your unlimited leave, then the problem has been like the hiring rather than the policy itself. Yeah. Which I thought was quite like insightful. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Okay, let's talk about the last point. So we've been speaking a bit about rules, and we want to make the point that that's what the 7-day minimum is. It's not meant to tell you how much leave you should give people. It's just meant to be like the bare minimum, the safety net, right? The government's not your daddy or your mommy. They're just there to like protect the basic rights of people, to protect people's basic dignity. I believe that they have encouraged 14 days, and then it's up to employers to offer their workers decent working culture and working environment. Earlier we spoke about how lower wage workers tend to have lower days of annual leave than other workers. So in fact, the average for workers who earn below $2,000 in 2022 was actually 12.4 days. So it shows that even if you are a low wage worker, you know, you're unlikely to be getting just 7 days. You're probably getting more than that. And it shows that just because the minimum is 7 days, I think we made this point earlier, just because the minimum is 7 days, it doesn't mean that employers are necessarily taking advantage of that to give employees only 7 days.
I think even the 17%, it might not be in the majority, but it still shows that there are companies or there are employers that would just go with the bare minimum. If the government, if it is encouraged to give more leaves, then why not just mandate it? Why not just mandate 14 then? I think there's still room to for employees and employers to negotiate, even if the bare minimum is at 14.
If you account for inflation.
The old man's talking now.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Yeah.
decent. At least there's, like what you said earlier, there's still room to negotiate.
Yeah, it's not far from the numbers that you cited, 12.4 days for those earning below $2,000. And just
At least 14 is
a couple
still,
of days more.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about her already, but like Minister of State for Manpower, right, Gan Xiaohuang, she talked about how it's
Oof.
might be dangerous just to think about increasing the amount of leave
Why is
because
it
of the cost
dangerous?
it would pose to businesses.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that about settles it. Unless you have something you would like to say to Minister of State for Manpower, Gan Xiaohuang.
Good work. Carry on.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thanks, man. Singapore is facing low fertility rate, low birth rates, because we have not enough time to have sex because of leave days. We can't even replace ourselves now, guys. And you still want 7 days of work. 7 days of leave.
Honestly, when you wrote family, right, I did not think that would be your way of going. I thought
Birth rate going down.
On the record, I also didn't realize this was his point.
That's my point. Family.
Until he started speaking.
Until Denise reminded me that I need to bring up parental duty.
Okay, so
And
let's
that's a
move.
serious one. But before you can be parents, you need to have sex. That's a fact.
You really sound like a master debater at this point in time.
Are you saying I'm a wanker?
I think he is. Yeah, okay, go.
Okay, so we need to send them to school, and that's a day-to-day thing, right? But we have times when they fall sick.
Childcare leave.
That's how many childcare leave? 6 days.
Per year.
Yeah.
Childcare
So
leave.
let me tell you, if you have a baby, they need to be sent to infant care. You know why? Because you have no many days of leave. You need to work. And when you work, you send them to infant care, they fall sick. Because they're babies. You can ask the mums out there.
No, I have a niece and
Yeah.
two nieces.
How
and
many
one
times
nephew.
they kena
Wow, like
put
every
mouth
week, bro. I'm so tired.
and sick? You think 6 days is enough?
It's not, man.
It's not.
And
Yeah, it's a
not
vicious cycle, right? You don't have time for sex. And when you have time for sex, you have baby, and then they're sick a lot of time. You're tired and you can't have sex anymore.
Feels like he just rambling about his own life now. So let's go, guys.
You also have the option of not having children, just saying.
He's the
Just saying.
master debater.
No.
Master debater.
Yes, there's the option of not having children. Yes, but we want to
But
make
yeah, but
Singapore
there-
progress and replace ourselves. We
Let-
want-
actually,
Shall
there's
we-
also unpaid infant care leave in Singapore, but that's 6 days also. You're entitled to 6 days of unpaid infant care leave a year.
unpaid.
Yeah.
Fair lah. Parental leave, you need time for that to look after your kid and all that. But again, flexible work arrangements, they help. If you can communicate with your boss and they're okay with it, why not? So yeah, I think we can move on to our closing statements now.
In conclusion, I think we've presented a pretty strong case for why 7 days, the minimum 7 days is enough. The optimal length of a holiday is around 8 days. That's when your happiness peaks, and that, once you start getting longer, it affects your productivity at work. Once you have to come back to work and things like that. We spoke about how you've got to compare the amount of leave we have in Singapore to countries in a similar cultural context to ours. I think we also talked about how instead of just rules, we should be encouraging a culture of more flexibility. These laws are just meant to be the bare minimum guardrail rather than setting the standard for everyone that they need to follow.
There should be a baseline because, yes, of course, we have to protect the rights of our employees. But why must that baseline be 7 days? This policy has been around since the 60s, and the 7 day, that number is one of the lowest in the world. And we also talked about how more leave days boosts productivity and also improves one's overall physical and mental well-being, essentially. One last point that we brought up also is on the topic of families, when we talk about parents who need to use up a lot of leaves because they're taking care of their children, their young children, infants. And since it's already encouraged for companies to go beyond the 7 day bare minimum, why not just mandate it to 14 days perhaps?
Okay, say real, Xing Qi, 7 days enough or not?
No.
I thought you said that you were. Didn't you say earlier that
That was
you...
the first thing he said when he entered the room.
Gaslighting you. I mean, we all started with 14, right? So
Yeah.
it has become like an industry standard. Then why not make it mandatory,
Wait, Hannah, say real, 7 days enough or not enough?
No, it's not enough.
So you guys all disagree with Josephine Teo, Gan Xiaohuang and Tan Si
I
Lu.
would like to say
Whoa.
that under the International Labour Organization, what they recommend is 4 weeks.
There's a thing called unlimited leave, right?
Yeah,
You want
I
that?
call bullshit on this.
I think unlimited leave would be stressful, to be honest. Yeah, how do you
I
know if you're
agree.
taking too little or too...
Yeah.
How do you know if you're
Taking
taking
too
too much leave compared to
Yeah,
everyone
then
else,
you
right?
feel like shit,
Oh, damn, am I a slacker?
am I the slacker in the team?
Am I gonna get fired?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like other
My-
people have to pick up your slack as
yeah,
well.
my
Then
peer
they'll
review
brew,
sucks.
brew like this amenity amongst people.
Well, I guess there are different types of people. Some people just don't give a shit about things.
What if
just
they give
abuse the
you
system?
7 days but very flexible work arrangements? Would you accept that?
You mean I don't need to come in the office and all that type?
Yeah, something like that.
You start at whatever time after you drop off your kid, do some errands, and then you can start work.
I mean, as a parent, I think flexibility is really quite valued. If you put your kid at say a childcare or infant care, if you're late, it can be fine. Yeah, so
They fine you.
yeah, it's 7 to 7.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
if I'm
late in
gonna
picking up your
charge-
child?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
doing
Oh.
Mothership hits the streets.
I'm gonna charge you. You know?
I think the most concerning numbers is the one about lower wage workers and getting less than higher wage workers, I suppose.
Yeah. So that's the end of today's debate and the end of almost the end of our season 1.
As usual, we've put up a poll in our YouTube community page to let you guys decide who won. So head on over and vote.
Drew and Hannah, they were in the for team, and me and Xing Qi, we were in the against team. And the debate topic was the minimum 7-day annual leave in Singapore is enough.
Yeah, we'll be crowning the master debater of season 1 soon. So hurry up, head over to the polls and let us know what you think.
So just another gentle reminder that the views expressed in this podcast do not represent the views of Mothership or other associated parties.
Remember to like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, and if you're listening to this on Spotify, leave us a rating.
Finally, thank you, Audio-Technica, for powering the audio for this podcast.
And thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode in season 2, if there's a season 2.
Where we'll be debating the merits of the name Adolf. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.